Now that I have finally had time to process the Doctor Who season finale, let's rank those episodes. This may be surprising to you, but the finale is not last on my list. Last on my list is Robot Revolution. Honestly, it was just fine. I just don't think it was a great kickoff episode, and it left me a little bit worried when I started watching it. I did like that there was like some connectedness throughout it, which felt very Doctor Who, but I just don't think it's an episode that I'm going to remember in a couple of years, or I'm not going to remember it for the right reasons. Okay, and now what you probably thought was the last one, the finale is coming in second to last for me. First, because how dare they? But also, what? Outside of my general, like, not loving the fact that Ncuti no longer going to be the Doctor, I just felt like this episode felt like it was 10 episodes packed into one and not in a good way. It felt very jumpy and all over the place. And I was like, oh, well, I guess it explained why Belinda was so panicked throughout the past episodes. But then as I was thinking about that more, I was like, it was totally fair that she was panicked about getting back home to her job and her parents and things unrelated to being a mom too. So I had to do a little self-check on that one as well. And I just feel like, and I'll talk about this in a little bit, I felt like they did a very poor job of getting me to care about this Wish World child. I was like, okay, yeah, it's gonna vanish. It's part of Conrad's weird, demented dream about everyone being in this heteronormative life. And so the fact that that was like the reason Ncuti started regenerating and Belinda's like entire world changed, I was just kind of like, oh, I just don't know how I feel about this. And I think that there's ways to like, you know, portray motherhood in very like wonderful ways. I don't think forcing somebody into that's what it felt like. It felt like they forced Belinda into motherhood when we had not previously seen her express any interest in motherhood. Maybe I missed something. If I did, please let me know. And I do think that Ncuti gave a very genuine and lovely, like, goodbye monologue in the end. But again, how dare they? Okay, coming in at, I think number 6 for me is Wish World. It all makes sense, right? I just didn't love the Ronnie plotline this season. I don't know if it was like very well used. Like, I think, again, it like gave a good like through line for past episodes and for Ncuti seasons, but I'm just not sure that it was a very memorable villain moment. I do think some of the like more subtle details of them like figuring out the world put this over the finale for me, but barely. Like, one of the details that I thought was really cool that they included was how Conrad's ableism manifests itself in the Wish World, that people just like literally aren't as impacted because he didn't really think about including them in this little Wish World scenario he came up with. I thought that was just like a wonderful commentary and also felt like something that I like absolutely love about Doctor Who. Coming in at number 5 is Lucky Day. Just another continuing theme of how much dating sucks, which is super relatable. I think it was an interesting tie-in with like the spread of misinformation and government distrust and how that can manifest in really interesting ways in like pockets of online discourse. So that I thought Doctor Who took a very interesting and Doctor Who-esque approach to tackling those things. It just wasn't my favorite episode in the season. Number 4 for me was The Well, because I found it absolutely terrifying. It did scare the heck out of me, but I found it great nonetheless. Appreciated the tension throughout the episode. I think it was like just a wonderful one-off, but how dare they end with a cliffhanger like that? It probably won't ever come back, but it was interesting. Number 3, I had the Interstellar Song Contest. I will say I totally understand if like you have this higher up in your list. I think as someone who doesn't watch Eurovision a lot, I think it was harder for me to grasp some of the connections, and so I tried to look it up to compensate, but I just don't think it hit as hard because I don't have that kind of background narrative, right? But I do think it had a lot of themes that can consistently cut across for people who watch any kind of like entertainment-based media, of like who is included in these kinds of performances and who is sponsoring these kinds of things. So I looked a little bit more into that, and so I do think it was very interesting commentary coming from a BBC-sponsored show to have this kind of episode, which I did think was really cool. I think what was weird to me in the episode, something about the episode just felt a little off, and I think part of it is that we see like this darker side of the Doctor in the episode, and I don't know, it felt like torturing someone felt just like wildly out of the realm of possibility for the Doctor in my brain. And I was like, okay, I'll put a pin in that because maybe they're going to explore that a little bit more with Chudi's Doctor, or maybe they'll explore it in further Doctors. But then the finale kind of made me like, you just did that, now I don't feel like there's going to be some kind of like resolution there. Anyway, so that just like felt a little off to me. Number 2, and this might just be a me number 2, but I absolutely loved Lux because I am a sucker for a haunted cinema. Like that, I will eat that up every time. I don't know why. Something about that. Like Phantom of the Megaplex had such an impact on me as a kid. Also, I am very anti fourth wall break, but I think they did an incredible job of fourth wall break here. I love to see Doctor Who fans portrayed by Doctor Who. So I think it was incredible. I think it was a wonderful like one-off villain situation. I was like, oh my gosh, we're getting more of this like Pantheon kind of style of things. Maybe this is gonna be like the continuing thing for the Doctor. Who knows? My saltiness towards the finale is going to impact everything. But my number 1 episode in this was the story and the engine. I think it was a very unique episode for Doctor Who, and it was one that, obviously so far, only Chudi's Doctor could have potentially pulled off. Like, I think people are going to look back at this as like a 15th Doctor staple episode. I think it was beautifully done. I think the theme of stories and how impactful they are, and like storytelling as a part of history is really cool. The spider freaked me out a lot, but I really love the episode. I think it's one that I'm going to rewatch just to see things that I missed. So yeah, I think that was my number 1 for the season. So that is my definitive ranking of season 2 of the 15th Doctor. Let me know in the comments, what is your episode ranking?